Hello students and welcome to another session of English language with Rita Oshan from Chalukya Academy. This session is for my IGCSE as well as ICSE students because we are going to discuss descriptive writing. What exactly is descriptive writing? Descriptive writing is painting a picture with your words such that the reader can visualize whatever you have written in your work. Descriptive writing has a unique power and appeal. It evokes sights, smells, sounds, textures, and tastes. Descriptive writing is a literary device in which the author uses details to paint a picture with his words. When we watch a film, all of the description is done for us by a camera and a microphone. But all that the writers have are words. So, we need to use words to help the reader see, hear, smell, taste, and touch too. Here are some tips for your descriptive writing. Write chronologically, all events must be coherent. Meaning, whenever you write a descriptive piece of writing, see to it that you stick to chronology. Meaning, you cannot show a king fighting a war and in the next paragraph taking birth. Use figures of speech, that is, words or phrases that aren't literal but have a vivid meaning. Use more strong verbs than technical terms like she walked leisurely is better than she sauntered. Use sensory details of touching, seeing, feeling, smelling, hearing, etc. Think before writing and end with revising and correcting your work. By using figurative language, we mean using similes, metaphors, alliterations, hyperboles, and other figures of speech in your description. Now, whenever we go for a party, we dress up very well. We adorn ourselves with jewelry and we try to appear our best. Now, children, tell me, do you wear all the jewelry that we possess? No, obviously not. We have to dress up our work in the similar manner by using figurative language. But do not use all that you've learned. If you've used different adjectives describing a person, please do not try to fit in all the 25 in one passage. It will make your work look tacky. Try to evoke all 5 senses in your writing, that is the auditory imagery, the olfactory imagery, the tactile imagery, the visual imagery, and the gustatory imagery. Each of these will associate with your hearing, smelling, feeling, seeing, tasting, respectively. Then use varying sentence structures. A few sentences should be long and complex, whereas the others should be short and crisp. Avoid using the commonplace, meaning the idioms and phrases which have been used quite often, try to avoid them. Describe feelings, objects, location, weather, characters in such a way that the reader can associate with what you have written. Now, what are the characteristics of good descriptive writing? Good descriptive writing includes many vivid sensory details that paint a picture and appeal to all of the reader's senses. Good descriptive writing often makes use of figurative language. But remember, use your figurative language in moderation. Please do not overdo it. Good descriptive writing uses precise and crisp language. Good descriptive writing is well organized, and remember, the paragraph length should vary. When describing a person, you might begin with physical description, followed by how that person thinks, walks, talks, feels, or acts. By varying sentence structure, we mean Now look at this sentence. The hall was empty. She ran towards the classroom. She entered right after the bell rang. Varying this sentence structure by embedding descriptive detail breaks the monotonous tone and the clipped subject-verb style. Let's see how it goes. Racing down an empty hall, she skidded into the classroom, breathless just as the bell clanged above her. See, this sentence is more impactful than the first one. Now here is the description of the effect of the sunlight. When Mary pulled open the door, she had to screw up her eyes against the glare. The sun dazzled off the snowy rooftops like they were mirrors, and it was 30 seconds before she could see clearly. The snow on the driveway was untouched by human footsteps, and Mary felt like a pioneer as she trudged towards the front gate. Overnight, while she had slept, the world had turned into a fairy tale. Now, when we read this description, we literally feel like covering our eyes because of the glare of the sunlight. The writer has used two similes in the paragraph, like they were mirrors and like a pioneer, which bring out the effect of descriptive writing vividly. The next is using personification in your writing. Personification is where you take an inanimate object and animate it, that is, give it human qualities. Personification is an excellent way to take a flat description and transform it into something far more dynamic. Look at a few examples given below. On stormy nights, the jagged rocks chewed up many unsuspecting fishing boats and spat them out in splinters. Now here, the rocks are given human-like qualities of chewing something and then spitting it out. A flotilla of foaming claws loomed over the toothpick boats. Now here, the waves are compared to a fleet of ships which are looming over the boats, which appear like small little toothpicks. The tired old car coughed and wheezed and crawled down the street. Here, the car is given human-like qualities of coughing and wheezing as if breathless. The tread of time is so ruthless that it tramples even the kings under its feet. Now here, time is given human-like qualities of walking. Now let us look at some sentences which are written in two different ways. The vague versus the vivid. The room was big. Now this sentence doesn't make an impact at all. But when we say a beam or shaft of light entering the room gave it the appearance of a ripened cornfield, we can visualize that the room is not only big but is also brightly lit. Look at the next one. The room was extremely cold. A chill ran down my spine when I touched the frozen knob to enter the room. After reading this sentence, you can literally feel the chill. The food was unpalatable, meaning the food was tasteless or insipid. The pale turkey slices floated limply in a pool of murky fat. How beautiful this sentence sounds. The face spray was refreshing. The cool water from the atomizer soothed our flushed hot faces. You can literally feel somebody spraying cool water on your faces. The traffic was heavy. Our old car puffed as the highway became clogged with an unending line of clamoring motorists. So here you can visualize the motorist screaming and shouting when they are stuck in traffic. Now let's see the description of harsh weather. You notice that This writing is one huge paragraph followed by a single short sentence. This is how your writing should be, with a long paragraph and a short one. The clouds above her oozed and bellowed across the awakening sun, casting the meadow into a shadowy darkness. A jagged bolt of lightning ripped the sky in half, and she began to run, wincing as each icy raindrop pierced her skin. The violent wind whipped the blonde hair around her face, and tears mixed with rain as a numbing coldness gripped her heart. The thunder rolled across the sky, seeming to crack the world in half and reveal the fury of the gods. It reverberated around the green landscape, eerily echoing as the girl desperately searched for shelter. She found none. So here you can sympathize with the girl as she is suffering because of the harsh weather and cannot find shelter for herself. Let's see a few more examples. In the novel The God of Small Things by Arundhati Roy, Roy's character Estha retreats inwards and stops talking in the wake of a traumatic event. Roy's use of metaphor in this character description is much more effective than if she were to say Estha was sad. Once the quietness arrived, it stayed and spread in Estha. It reached out of his head and enfolded him in its swampy arms, sent its stealthy suckered tentacles inching along the insides of his skull, hoovering the knolls and dells of his memory, dislodging old sentences, whisking them off to the tip of his tongue. What a beautiful piece of writing this is. Now, before we go to a few more, I would like to tell you that whenever answering a question on descriptive writing, please stick to the word limit. Also, read the question very carefully and underline the key words in the question. For example, if you've been asked to describe the moment when you plunged into the sea, you have to describe the moment alone and not what happened after you dived into the sea and what you saw inside. So be very careful, because if you read the question in a hurry, you can make mistakes and you can lose valuable marks. Now let's move on to a few more examples. Nestled in the foothills of the great Andes stood a quaint little cottage inhabited by an old couple who worked in the nearby windmill for a living. So we've tried to describe the setting of a place where the couple lived. The melodious and mellifluous voice of the nightingale roused me from my slumber, filling my entire being with delight, and I set out to welcome the magnificent day with gusto. That means when the person wakes up to the sound of music, natural music, the person is charged up to tackle the day. Dark clouds rumbled in the sky. Flashes of lightning and thunder heralded another bleak day. Peeping out of my casement, that is, window, I chanced upon a weird looking character lugging something laboriously. Laboriously meaning with great difficulty. I wondered who could it be and what was he up to in such foul weather. Now, when you read this, you can visualize a man carrying something heavy on his back and he's walking with great difficulty. Now, remember, children, practice makes a man perfect. So, do practice your descriptive writing regularly. Please make a vocabulary list wherein add 5 words every day so that at the end of the year you have a huge vocabulary. But remember to use it sparingly and judiciously. Whenever we season our pizza with a few spices, we see to it that we do not add too much of oregano or too much of chili flakes, lest our pizza should become tasteless. So, please remember to use your adjectives and your figures of speech moderately and judiciously. I'm sure you must have understood descriptive writing very well. Soon I'll be back with another video on another topic from your syllabus. Till then, bye and thank you for watching.